What's up, guys? Welcome to MMA Universe. For this video here, I'm going to be talking about UFC 239 Jones versus Santos, July 6th, Saturday, only on pay-per-view, which takes place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. For this video here, Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos is a very interesting fight. Thiago Santos is definitely deserving with a fight with Jon Jones, though, is a tall order for anyone in that division. And Jon Jones is obviously the heavy favorite for this fight. I mean, there's really no one in the light heavyweight division that can really even give him a challenge. I know some people talk about Johnny Walker, which I think will be a great challenge for Jon Jones. But I would think Johnny Walker should get a few more fights under his belt before he does fight Jon Jones. I believe Johnny Walker said in an interview where he was already experienced enough to fight him and dethrone him. I don't know for sure if that was in an interview with Johnny Walker, but I believe I heard something of that sort. But this video isn't really about Johnny Walker. I just thought I'd mention that. Just Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos. I mean, Santos is a heavy hitter. I mean, anything can happen, but if Santos is going to go in there with just a puncher's chance, it's not going to work with Jon Jones. I know anything can happen in this sport, but I do not think Jon Jones is going to go in there just trying to stand with Thiago Santos. I mean, I've seen Jon Jones try to beat people at their own game, and I mean, he's a terrific fighter. I mean, I love Jon Jones. I mean, I know some people don't like him because of his past, testing positive issues and things in his personal life. But put all that aside, I believe Jon Jones is the GOAT. And to fight Thiago Santos, it's going to be definitely a tough fight, I believe. But I see Jon Jones getting his hand raised. I don't see Thiago Santos going in there to do much. He has too much holes in his ground game. And Jones right now is on a tear. I mean, he always has been, right? Jon Jones goes in there and gives his all, and sometimes it looks like he's not even trying, and he just destroys the opponent. And Thiago Santos, I really don't think is going to be that much different from Jon Jones' previous opponents. I mean, don't get me wrong, Thiago Santos has crazy power, and he just goes for it. But against Jon Jones, I really don't think it's going to work. Jon Jones is going to take him down, I believe, and with Thiago Santos' holes in his ground game, I really believe that's where the fight is going to be stopped. I believe Jon Jones is going to finish Thiago Santos. I will not be surprised if it goes to decision. But I believe Jon Jones is just trying to make a point, trying to tell everybody, just like him having like a quick back and forth with Israel Adesanya and Israel, excuse me. But I mean, I know, Israel is a middleweight, and so is Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos was a middleweight in his previous fights, which just recently moved up to light heavyweight and got some wins under his belt. But honestly, I see Jon Jones getting his hand raised. Jon Jones, I believe, is going to be too much for him. He's too smart. His fight IQ only gotten better. I really do not see Jon Jones losing this fight at all. I think Jon Jones is just going to continue his reign and just continue his legacy as being the GOAT. And, for Jon Jones being 24-1 right now, for those of you who don't know, that one loss is a disqualification loss that he got before he was the champion, that in a fight against Matt Hamill where he was completely dominant. And the UFC, the referee for that UFC fight was Steve Mazzagatti, which all you guys know is just not the greatest referee. Dana White, seems to hate his referee skills, if you even want to call it that, but I know he doesn't like him as a referee whatsoever. I mean, there's plenty of interviews with Dana White saying, those exact words. He says, maybe he could be a nice guy, but as far as refereeing, he hates him, And for Steve Mazzagatti to call that as a disqualification loss because of those previous rules, there's different rules from when he fought Matt Hamill then to where he fights now. Matt Hamill stopped it because first of all, Jon Jones was in the full mount. And he kept looking up at Steve Mazzagatti, and you can actually hear Joe Rogan when he was commentating the fight saying that he was trying to like con Steve Mazzagatti into stopping the fight because he felt like it was over. I mean, Jon Jones was, I think, 9-0 going into that fight, and then it ended up being 9-1 because of the disqualification loss in a fight where he was dominant, like I mentioned just a little while ago. I mean, Steve Mazzagatti was saying he was hitting him with the 12-by-6 elbows, which are illegal. Back then, I not 100% sure if they're still illegal now, but really, I mean, that fight was over. You know, Matt Hamill had nothing for Jon Jones, so I consider Jon Jones to be undefeated, and Jon Jones had actually said that himself. But for this fight, I really see Jon Jones just kind of running through Thiago Santos. I don't see Thiago Santos giving him anything. Like I said, and like everybody says, I mean, anything can happen in this sport. But I do believe Jon Jones is going to go in there and get it done and get his arm raised. It might be a dog fight. I'm hoping to see an exciting fight, but Jon Jones is just going to get it done. I believe Jon Jones has everything that he needs to go into this fight and just get it done and possibly even finish Thiago Santos. But Thiago Santos is extremely tough. I mean, he has high grit. There's really, for me to say Jon Jones is going to finish Thiago Santos, I know are strong words, but I mean, Jon Jones is the great. You know, I mean, he's the greatest fighter, I believe, that ever graced the octagon besides George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. And I mean, I know, you know, DC is up there as well, but that'll be another video that I would do for DC versus Jones 3. But Thiago Santos, I mean, if Thiago Santos was to go in there and knock out Jon Jones, of course, that'll shock the world. I would be incredibly shocked myself. I mean, that'll be a jaw-dropping moment, I think, for the entire world. But I really see Jon Jones getting it done, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure that you order UFC 239, Thiago Santos versus Jon Jones, and let's hope for an exciting night.